Hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is Karina, Day by Day K, your fitness instructor and fitness competitor. In today's video, we are going to continue on with our series on in-home exercises. And some of the videos you've already probably seen have no equipment that you need to use in order to get through the exercises. Today's in-home exercise does require one piece of equipment, which is a ball. If you don't have a ball, I will show a couple of variations that you can practice without a ball, just using a chair. However, I do recommend that if it's something that you're really interested in building up your strength, to get the ball. Now, the reason why I started with the ball is because it's a super cheap piece of equipment to purchase. So again, if you don't have a membership or if you are the type of person that just likes to work out at home, this is a great tool to have at home, where not only can you use it for exercise, it's actually a great tool to use for, instead of sitting at a desk, you can use it just to sit on, and it helps you with your posture. Typically you can buy these at Walmart, you can probably get it like online, any fitness store, or even something like a Winners. So like I mentioned, they're not very expensive and they are super effective. So if you guys are interested in seeing some crazy cool exercises for your total body, stay tuned and I will see you on the ball floor. So the first thing you have to practice is just balancing on the ball. And the way to do that is just kind of dig your heels into the ball. Notice my bum is touching the ball. My head is on the mat, my shoulders are on the mat, and I'm just lifting and lowering, getting used to this movement. You're gonna already probably feel this in your hamstrings. So just do a couple of practice rounds, and then once you're ready, you can actually start into the next level, which is adding in a roll out. So this is called a ball leg curl, and I'm basically working my glutes, hamstrings here. You might feel this in your calves. That's completely normal as well. So your body will just do whatever it can to stay balanced and to get through the motion. So don't worry if you're feeling it in your calves as well. Now, if you've mastered this level, you can add on some more challenging things like doing single leg exercises. So you're going to basically be able to do the same thing with your single legs. I love working each leg separately because then again, if you have one weaker side, you can do a couple of extra reps on that side to kind of help balance out your body. The more balance your body has, of course, the less injuries you will have. So here I'm just demonstrating again the single leg ball curl. And of course, what you do to one side, you always want to make sure you do on the other side. Next, we're going to work a little bit of the core. So as you can see here, that was like a half crunch, or you can full crunch all the way up. My feet are on the floor and the ball touches the floor on the way down. My head touches the floor on the way down as well. Another option is to keep your legs straight. So this kind of disengages your hip flexor muscles a little bit more, but it's still working your core just as hard, and you're coming up nice and tall. The harder part of the exercise, the lift, is where you're exhaling and inhaling on the way down. For the core, we're going to add in some more. So here we go. My head is off the mat and I'm just going to touch the floor with both the ball and my hands, and then bring it back up. So holding the ball in your legs, it just makes it a little bit awkward for the body. So it's just another challenge, but it's also super working your core. All of these exercises that you'll see me doing for the core right now, you want to make sure your back stays flat on the mat. So if you're feeling pain in your lower back, this is a good option, is either keeping your legs in place, and I'm just reaching for the ball, or if you have any shoulder issues, you can also just kind of touch your shoulders, touch the ball. Okay, the longer your legs, the more difficult the exercise will be because it's a longer lever. So here is another option. Again, if you feel like your back is peeling off the floor, then I would suggest bending your knees for this. So it would look something like this. Pull it in and then extend out. And then as your core gets stronger, you can start to extend the legs out a little bit further. And notice for this one, my head is also on the mat. Now we're going to add in some more. So it's basically the reverse now. So I'm holding the ball with my hands, and then I'm extending my legs out and my hands. So for this one, my head is coming off the mat. And if this bothers your shoulders or your neck, you can also just move the legs, okay? or you can actually even keep your head on the mat. And again, this is if you're finding that it's hard to stay flat on the mat, you can bend those knees. And then once you get strong enough, then you can add on the straight legs. And level up, we're going to pass the ball from our legs to our hands. Again, still keeping that back nice and flat. The harder part is the lift, so that's where I'm exhaling, inhaling on the way down. And again, you can see I'm slightly bending my knees, so you want to make sure you have form over intensity level. If you feel like your back starts to peel off, I know I'm repeating myself a lot, you want to make sure you bend those knees, or you can also see that my head is staying on the mat for this one. So if you have any shoulder issues where you feel like you're maybe working a lot of your neck and you're feeling shoulder pain, you can just keep your head down for that one and you'll still feel it. Next, we're going to add in some other moves for core. So this one is a reverse, and it's kind of just pulling the ball in. So you can rewind this video if you'd like, but you can see how I got on the ball as well. And again, it's kind of like a plank position, and then I'm just pulling my knees in towards my core. Shoulders, elbows, and wrists are all nicely aligned. Now, if you feel comfortable on the ball, here's just another option of how to get on the ball. I know for everyone it's a little bit different, so I like to show different variations. We are going to do push-ups, and again, these ones are a little bit more intense because, of course, your legs are elevated. So here is option one with a straight body here, and notice it's like a plank position. Or if you are just starting off with these ones, notice how I bent my knees, so I'm basically just bringing that ball in a little bit closer to the center of my body, so that it's a little bit easier for me to get those push-ups. And then once you're comfortable with that, you can roll yourself out further and further. Next, we're going to work on the hip flexors and the inner thighs. So really key to this is notice how I'm sitting. My knees are pointing down and my toes are kind of helping me stay balanced. I say it's kind of like riding on a horse. And then all I'm doing is like really squeezing that ball. So this exercise looks super benign, but it's actually like really effective, and you can repeat these, I would say, like do a couple of pulses for 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off, or 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, really squeezing that ball. You're trying to really imagine like you're trying to pop that ball. Next, we're gonna work the lower back. So really important for this one is that the ball, you're going to put your hips on the ball, not your stomach on the ball. And your feet, as I showed you there, they shouldn't be up on the wall. Your toes should be on the floor. In the beginning, if you're not used to this, I would say hold on to the ball as you're doing this. So I'm just kind of hyperextending here. Or if you feel like you've got this down packed, then you can take your hands off. And this is just a side view of the same thing. Just so you guys can see, my legs aren't completely straight. If you straighten out your legs, your feet are gonna start to slide up the wall, and you don't want that because it's so much easier to get injured and hurt yourself. You could just fall forward. So again, if you don't feel safe, always just hold on to the ball as you're doing these exercises. And also very key is the material your pants are made of. So if you feel slippery, I would suggest holding the ball for that round. And finally, I'm just going to show you a few options if you don't have a ball at home. This is the same thing for the back, so my hands are behind my head. Now in this video, it kind of looks like I'm taking my feet off the floor, but my toes are staying on the floor. So you don't want your toes to come off the floor. Really working that back. If you have issues with mobility in your shoulders, or if you're tight and you have a hard time to put your hands behind your head, you can just keep your hands on the side, just like this. And again, I'm just lifting and lowering. Notice my neck is neutral spine, so I'm not looking straight ahead, I'm looking at the mat. And this is just a substitute for the ball exercise. Now we can't do all of them like the ball leg curls, however, you can do some of them. So you wanna make sure your feet are just like on the ball, right, digging into the front of that chair, and then I'm just gonna be lifting and lowering, squeezing those glutes at the top, digging my heels into that chair. Again, my head stays on the mat, my shoulders stay on the mat, and your second option here is the one leg. And you can play around with this. You can do like pulses, you know, just do different variations, and that's pretty much it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions on how to maybe put a little workout together for yourself at home, feel free to message me. I will put something like that together in the future. But for now, I just wanted you guys to get some of the basics. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.